Good month as you go. Good morning, Kane County. I'd like to call the Kane County Transportation Committee meeting for Tuesday, August 20th to order. And let's do roll call.
Berman.
Present.
Caius.
Caius present.
Leonard.
Leonard present via Zoom.
Roth.
Roth here.
Ford. Doherty.
Here.
Davis.
Yeah, I was here.
Epi.
Jumpy here.
You have an in-person quorum.
All right. And Mr. Doherty and Mr. Leonard by Zoom.
No,
There are no
no problem.
objections to that?
No.
Don't see any. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I asked you, whoop,
Mr. Chairman, this is Caius. I would ask for remote or for what would I ask for? I'd ask for
what are you asking?
unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes from July 16th, 2024, please, without objection.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Seeing no objection, it is, we'll make it so. All right. Moving right along, Mike, public comment already. Agenda, non-agenda? Yeah. Okay. Justin. Knew which side you were on it then.
Trying to sit in the same spot.
Yep.
Thank
Stock
you.
finance reports.
Finance reports for July 2024 are in your packet, and I can answer any questions that you have at this time.
Yeah, stay in that microphone for everybody. I'm just, yeah, no.
Seeing none,
No, I don't.
I would like to turn it over to Mr. Rickert for budget presentation for 2025.
So we just wanted to present an update on where we're at with the budget. Right now, we're currently working with finance to make some corrections to our personnel budget. The overtime needs to be added to the personnel budget, which is critical for our operations. I think that you can anticipate we do a lot of overtime when we're out in the field watching construction, or if we're out snow plowing. So those monies need to be added. Justin has sent those, our chief financial officer has sent those over to finance a couple weeks ago, and we're just waiting for it to get updated. The Teamsters health insurance, as well as our vacant engineering positions, they all need to be added in. And so we're just waiting for that update and coordinating with the finance and budget department at this point in time. The second item that you see there is the finance committee yesterday recommended a draft resolution that moves $4 million approximately from the transportation RTA sales tax funds to the general fund, and calls out for future financial policy amendments prior to adopting the 2025 budget. I think those amendments are probably still up for further discussion. Regardless, the KDOT budget will need to be updated once all that's worked out. I wanted to spend a little bit of time, not much, because many or most of you heard the discussion at finance yesterday, but I did give a presentation on the Regional Transportation Authority Act and the sales tax that's associated with it. That presentation was primarily talking about the $4 million loss being, I've been using the words a severe and significant reduction in our funds available. I will continue to use those words. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that there are impacts from it. I did spend some time with the history, why those funds were created, and the various efforts. One of the things that I didn't mention at the time was that CMAP, who has oversight of the federal funds and the programming efforts that come into the region. They have been in the past highly discouraging taking transportation funds and moving them to public safety. They have talked about if the counties ever need any assistance as a region, that the counties could look at approaching them and working on the efforts to find other funding sources. I think, again, we're looking at the potential of another sales tax that would go to referendum, but CMAP has also offered, and there was a letter that from CMAP that was attached, and as well as them expressing their concerns about things heading in this direction. Currently, DuPage County is the only one that primarily uses it for public safety. So there's a lot of information that was submitted in the packet. I wanted to make sure this committee also had that information. This information is very similar to what was presented to Transportation and Finance Committee last year. So it's not a lot of new information, but it gives some historical context of some of the funds that were transferred from transportation to the general fund over the years in order to assist with some of the funding shortfalls. It also talks about the 5-year transportation plan and the impacts to that transportation plan. I did go through a number of the projects, and I felt like that's the primary thing that this committee would want to know about. What I did too last night is I calculated there were some questions in regards to the ratio impacts. What would $4 million impact us with as far as the concerns? I did pull out all the federal and state funding grants that we have been working on at different levels over the last 3 years approximately. And there was almost 15 different projects, just to name them: asset management, Randall at Hops, Randall at Big Timber, Randall at Illinois 72, the new radio grant, the Plank Road Safety Grant, our CMAP grants, Ride and Cane grants, Kirk over the UP grants, the Long Meadow grants, the Safety Plan grants, Doberman grants, and Montgomery grants. Over the last 3 years approximately, we've been working with about $138 million worth of grants that are moving through the system. That $138 million worth of grant is matched with about $44.7 million in local funds. This is about a 3-to-1 ratio. I decided to look at it. If I removed the recent Longmeadow grant, the 30 million that is proceeding forward, because that's a one-off a little bit. If I remove that, we are still at a 2.5-to-1 ratio, which is essentially we're looking at every $4 million of loss, we are losing about $10 million. And so I wanted to make that clear because I don't want to give any perception that there aren't consequences. There are consequences. For the 4 million that we're looking at currently, it's about a $10 million loss. And if it becomes, as the resolution talks about, the potential of amendment to the county policies, if it becomes an annual event of $4 million, then it's significant monies, because you're looking at every year then that potential loss. And so again, I think it's my job to at least mention that. I said yesterday to the Finance Committee, I don't try to recommend anything. I don't try to do anything but give the information. And I want to make sure that you realize it is a 2.5-to-1 ratio, that we need to continue to look at how do we approach some of these grants. The grants that I just listed, those almost 15 projects that we're currently moving forward with, those grants in 2026 and 2027, we have about a $33 million shortfall if we're not able to figure out an alternative funding source. My understanding at the Finance Committee is there are efforts to try to figure that out. And so But I want, again, if we're unable to, I wanted to make sure that there's an understanding of how the funding would work. That 33 million impacts the projects that we have listed here. You have
Can
about
I-
8 projects there that
Tom,
current,
just a moment.
yeah,
Before my head explodes.
okay.
If I ever need somebody to explain bad news for me to a group, I'm gonna ask Tom Rickert because he has a calming influence on things. And here in the room, primarily, he's preaching to the choir because you folks do this work. You know the importance. But for anybody outside listening to this, I'm sorry I couldn't be at the finance committee meeting. Tom just said he tries to just present the facts and the figures and what goes on. And I wish that our finance department would do the same. Because policy is to be done by the board. And I keep hearing, recommendations about this. We explain this every year. It's really pretty easy to understand about leveraging money. And I like our sheriff. I think Ron's a great guy. I think he picked up on my reference to return on investment the other day and kind of twisted it a little bit. I wasn't referring to that this is an effort for us to make money. It's to leverage what we have to get the most value out of it. And it's pretty simple when you look at it that way. And we bandy about the term public safety, like it's versus transportation. You already know, thanks to Tom, the history of this and where it started, which was with transportation. And I would argue that we also provide public safety. Safe roads and bridges have a direct impact on public safety every single day for virtually every person in the county. Thankfully, not everybody is confronted with an act of crime, and I think the sheriff's office does a wonderful job and I want them to keep doing it. None of what I say is to diminish their work or to say that they're not dealing with public safety in a very real way, in a very brave way. So are you. So I'm tired of hearing that we're not being sensitive in some way to public safety. That we should surrender this without, complaining about it. I'm gonna keep complaining about it because it just doesn't make sense. You move $4 million, you lose 12. How is that possibly a good use of our money? And it's not conceptual. There's the list of things that won't happen. I can't do it quite as calmly as Tom does because it just irritates me. But I've interrupted you in the middle of your presentation, Tom, and I'm sorry.
That's all right. I want to say attached is a draft 5-year tip. And in that draft 5-year tip, it's not before you today to approve anything, but just to show you what we're looking at as far as the staff in order to try to balance our financial spreadsheet. We're required by state law to submit a constrained 5-year financial plan on an annual basis. And so we will be working on this because the county engineer is required by law to submit it. And so the projects that we have looked at moving into the multi-year, we've moved it out of the 5-year financial plan, are listed there. It's the Bowes, Corn and Nestler, Burlington Road bicycle accommodation, the Huntley Road widening from Randall to Sleepy Hollow, Montgomery Road from Illinois 25 to Hill Avenue, the Randall Road at Huntley project, the Randall at Kesslinger project. I'm going to stop there for a second. We do have to, staff reminded me late last week, we have to figure out at least an element of that project because the Randall Road Bridge over the UP Railroad needs to be replaced. And so we're going to have to explore that. That might have to be moved forward into, or at least a component into the 5-year financial plan. Randall at Prairie Street, and then the signal system communication expansion. And that was primarily to create redundancy in case the system went down. And so those are the things that we've moved out of the 5-year financial plan. The following list there that you see are projects that we need to at least complete the phase one, and we should start the phase one. Over 2/3 of these projects are currently moving in the phase one at one level or another. There's a few projects that we're recommending that we still proceed forward with the phase one. We're not even, if things are kind of figured out as far as transportation funds in the future, we need to make sure that we have the phase ones completed, because we can't even ask for grants without the phase one. As far as the next major bullet point, that's the no new projects or programs. We need to just start saying no to bicycle pedestrian accommodations, the intersection safety operational new starts. There's continued requests for expansion with Ride and Cane. I think we're just going to be sticking with the current program right now because of the extra funds that are needed for the expansion elements. And then safety enhancement projects will be focused like on the low hanging fruit. And for the federal HSIP projects, we usually get 90% for those projects. So they're generally good safety projects that if we can get the 90%, there's something that we need to figure out. Evaluate potential reductions in current operations, services, and programs. And then try to protect the existing grants. I say that because with the negative 33 million projected in 26-27, it means that we do not have the matching funds that we need for the current projects. We always, again, we work on fiscally constraining our budgets on an annual basis, but that's a situation where even potentially our existing grants will have concerns if we don't find additional funds. So
I have a quick math question for
Okay.
Tom or Carl. 90%, that's better than a 3-to-1 ratio, isn't it?
Yes.
Just checking.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So we do have that shortfall of 33 million that's mentioned in that first bullet point under protecting existing grants. We do need to, it again, it depends if it's a 1-year situation or if it does turn into, as the resolution is currently written, that the financial policies will be adjusted. We do need to limit further grant applications. If we already have a shortfall, we cannot go after additional grants. If we do, they need to be maintenance grants because the maintenance has to occur no matter what. And if we don't get the grants, we have to use local funds in order to do it. So we will be focused on maintenance grants, primarily bridge maintenance grants. And then Randall at Hops intersection and the grade separation, that's our greatest concern. Whatever happens, I think that obviously the board's direction will be figure it out, Tom, or figure it out to the staff. And so, but right now there's a lack of funding for it. So again, hope the last bullet point is just hope that there are only minor safety and emergency structural repairs. The other comment, I forgot even about this until I was driving here this morning. We do have intergovernmental agreements that we're obligated to pay our fair share. And sometimes we don't even know about it until that year of or the year after, and we just have to pay our fair share. So there's some things that will come up potentially on safety improvements we need to do or structural repairs we need to do or intergovernmental agreement obligations that we need to do, and that will have to be done with local funds. So I finished by just saying that that $4 million is our matching funds. It is an impact. You do have a draft new transportation improvement program. That's essentially what the operating for our department will look like for the next 5 years. This is the letter from CMAP and with their concerns regarding the transfer of funds. I don't think we need to hit any of this. This one just shows that the transportation sales tax is our primary capital fund. And this, I just briefly showed this too yesterday. This is just so that you can see that the recurring revenues on an annual basis is around $49 million. And then the recurring budget expenditures are currently around 62 million. A portion of this is for design engineering, but as I mentioned earlier, we can't even go after grants without those design engineering aspects. So grants help us out tremendously in order to do our projects. So that's the overview. And again, you have the draft tip in front of you that shows all the projects. And then here you can see the negative 33 million that we anticipate in 2027. Again, it starts in 2026, but the overall is in 2027. So that's my presentation. Just kind of let you kind of see where the transportation improvement program is heading. That's it.
Thank you, Tom. And kudos, because you do stay calm through all of it. If the financial argument's not enough to sway you, if we're, hanging our head on the safety aspects, again, I'm looking at that list as Tom's describing it, and the word safety is in there over and over and over. We are a public safety organization also. By virtue of transportation, we address safety every day. So I also, since I'm in a mood, I guess, or causing trouble, I want to know, are we now, as we're doing our work, is staff able to address the work and utilize the New World system to do the reports and the projections and things that we need to be doing? Have we got access yet?
We have had access. We've made some of the project adjustments, except for personnel. We're unable to make adjustments in personnel. And
Unable, why?
It's a locked out part of the system, and so there are a number of changes that need to occur that we're working with finance to get those changes done.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Tom, but unable to do it, working with finance. This has been going on for a long time. What's the obstacle to getting this done? Why are we blocked from having our staff do their work? And you may not have the answer to that, but I'm going to ask it out loud anyway, because I want to know. And if Kathy needs to come down here and answer for us, then so be it. Because these are important questions that need to have answers, and I'm not going to be here much longer to ask them. So I want to know now. So I'm going to let you off the hook on that one. Time you don't have to know the answer to that one, but I'm going to be looking for it. Dale?
Well, Berman, Kathy's not available right now.
Okay.
I think that she certainly has an answer. I don't know what the answer is, but
Microphone, please. Yeah.
in defense of the finance committee, we all have challenges. The transportation committee, the development committee, every committee has challenges. And it seems like the financial challenges seem to be our biggest problem. And I think the finance committee is charged with coming up with a recommendation for a balanced budget. And to the best of our ability, we came up with that. Now, that's to be presented to the executive committee and to be presented to the entire board. Just because the finance committee says this is what we recommend, that does not mean that's what's going to be approved by the 24 members of our county board. So your argument for what you, in support of what you want, is definitely good. Keep it up. But we're all in this together. We're all trying to do the best we can.
I agree, Dale.
All right.
And just as I wanted to point out that it's my goal wasn't to, tear down the sheriff's work, or their role, very critically important role. Nor do I want to say that the finance committee doesn't have a Herculean task also and is looking for answers. And I wish I had answers to provide, for the problem that you guys are taking on. Keeping this 4 million where it has been, I still absolutely believe is the correct answer. And I know that doesn't help solve the problem that you're trying to work on. But I recognize that problem is there. And I would still say to anyone involved in this that that's not the money to move to close the gap. There's got to be a different way.
Well, it's a 24-member board that should make the decision.
Absolutely right. So, and thank you for what you're doing at Finance, Dale. It wasn't meant to point a finger of
I
blame
didn't.
at you in any way either. I guess I could try to stop now and move on with our agenda. Mike, you want to talk to us about maintenance?
Yeah, good morning. In your packet, you're gonna see the maintenance report. Few things to highlight. We did do a second complete mowing of the right of way. We have changed our practice from the past. In the past, we've done a single pass and then a full mow. And then in the fall, we would do another full mow. This time we did a single pass and immediately after the 4th of July, did another single pass. It's a two-step thing. It's letting the bees and the bunnies and all the wildlife kind of grow in the backside of the ditch. And it's also allowing us to get more work done. So with that, we're seeing about a $35,000 savings in fuel and wear and tear on equipment and a $25,000 savings on labor that we're able to use elsewhere. We haven't seen any extra complaints on the right of way mowing, and we haven't seen any impacts in deer getting hit by vehicles increasing from that either. So historically, we've always started mowing in Memorial Day and didn't finish till the 4th of July. Now it takes us about 7 to 10 days to do one pass and we get it done and we can move on to other work. And in the fall, we will do a complete mow and get all like the trees, shrubs, all the stuff coming up and go for the next year. So I wanted to highlight that. So far it seems to be working. The other thing I wanted to highlight is the 7/14 and 7/15 storm cleanup. It cost KDOT about $35,000 to clean up those 7 days from those two storms. With that too, we also responded to an IPWMAN request, which is Illinois Public Works Mutual Aid. That is a program that we are in. It costs about $500 a year and it's the best insurance anyone can pay for. I believe that every town, every village in King County should be a member agency, working hard to get everyone to join. Even the city of Chicago will be joining after the DNC because they are using IPWMAN resources there. So you can see in the photo, that is our bomber truck with the city of Geneva helping them clean up for that after those events. Any questions on the maintenance report?
You guys save in a new mowing technique and Mother Nature taketh away.
Yeah.
Well done, though. It's all right. Anybody, any questions, comments? No. Rick Ball seconds. Any questions, comments on Adopt a Highway, 1 new, 3 renewal?
Berman,
Kermit, yes?
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he had to
Yeah.
step out for a moment.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Yeses.
All right. And you got some trucks. I
Yes,
think
sir.
we've talked about this before because it's been really hard to find trucks
Yes.
and
So this will officially get us caught up from COVID. So in the past, since 2020, we have been pushing 2 to 3 trucks back every year and kind of trying to stay up to date. This year, 2024, we were only technically due for 2 trucks. We ended up getting 4 because 2 of them were for 2021. In 2025, we're due for 4 trucks and we're asking for 6 because 2 of them are from 2022. So this will officially get us done with the COVID delays and all that. So we are asking for 6 2025 Kenworth T48 tandem axle trucks for a total price of $873,092. With that, we did do a $5,000 deposit on each truck back in April to lock in the build spot. And we also, part of the reason we're bringing it now is it will prevent us from having to pay a 3 to 4% increase next year, which is roughly about $6,000 per truck. And Kenworth is coming out with a new updated motor next year, and that will raise the price about $7,000 to $8,000. So by bringing it now, we're saving a total of about $84,000 to get them locked in, but they won't be built until December, January. So they'll be paid out in the FY25 budget, and they are currently in the FY25 budget. 2 of these trucks will have slide-in anti-icing tanks that will allow us to possibly start dabbling our feet in all liquid routes, which our collar counties are doing, and seeing about a 33% reduction in salt with that. So that is kind of a benefit of 2 of these trucks.
Okay. I think at some point they had to start giving us like a quantity discount, right? Getting 6.
I would hope, but I'm not right now.
All right. Ask for a motion on that. Mr. Iqbal moves,
Berman second.
Berman seconds. Any other questions for Mike on trucks or how we got here? Nope. All right, let's vote.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
But yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
Thank you. All right. Jackie.
Good morning. Report. So first off, our Kane County Safety Action Plan update. We did have our first steering committee meeting back in late June. I hadn't reported back to you about that yet. I think it went well. We did an overview of what we were doing, why we assembled the steering committee, and had some good input from them on places where we can do some pop-up events to get stakeholder input. So we're looking at an event out at the Sycamore Speedway next month, or no, maybe October. And that's going to be with the motorcycle group that we're partnering with Abate. So trying to focus on motorcycle safety and get the word out that we're doing this plan. So that's coming up. Ride in Kane, we continue to register riders. I passed out this morning a card for all of you. We are going to hand this out to our new registered riders so that they have all the information handy. One side, it has our Title VI policy, and the other side are important phone numbers for folks to have handy. We also have a holder for these cards that you can attach to a cell phone or other things so that you can put it in there with your other important numbers. In your packet was our monthly or our quarterly ridership data. So through May, you can see that we've had an increase in the number of rides, not only for the riders for Kane County, but all sponsors. And the type of rides, you can see again, an increase, except for medical, that has remained somewhat steady on those. So that is our ridership data update for the next quarter. That's all I have for my report.
Okay. Wonder if we could sponsor a KDOT car out at Sycamore Speedway.
Yeah.
How we drive it.
Maybe one of our old trucks.
Yeah.
that we're getting rid of.
They tracks.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Iqbal, go ahead.
Yeah, the question for Ride in Kane,
Yes.
there's a new legislation which allows people going to the specialty court to have to enjoy this Ride in Kane. Is the department aware of it, and what's the impact of it?
I'm not familiar with that. What is it
It's a
providing?
new,
right-
yeah, it's a new legislation,
Did,
just signed last month by governor.
Okay,
is that something at Judicial Public Safety where they've got they're offering something for specialty court?
Yeah, if you are going to the specialty court, you can take the ride.
okay, I'll take a look at. that.
Okay, I was not familiar with that, but
Yeah, I can give you the number of the bill.
Thank you.
Or the law.
thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify, people still have to register with wherever it is appropriate for them to register in order to be with Ride in Kane.
That's correct.
before any of these numbers are effective for them.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Once they register, then they'll be able to utilize this, except for the Ride and Cane information line. You can call that anytime.
That
and
would give them registration.
Yeah, they would get them that.
Okay. And then the resolution.
My
for-
resolution,
for The
yes.
supplemental appropriation.
Yes, so we have two different types of federal funding that we're using for Ride and Cane, JARC in section 5310. The JARC, or Job Access Reverse Commute, was for work trips only. The eligibility for these two different types of funding are actually different. The JARC trips allow for low-income riders to take rides, as well as individuals over 65 and older, and individuals with disabilities. That funding for JARC is actually legacy funding that we had taken on and told the RTA that we could spend. Well, we've spent it all. So we spent it sooner than we thought we would. And there are certain riders that we've been covering with that federal funding that are no longer able to take rides because that funding is gone. The good news is there were a number of riders who were low income that were also 65 and older and had disabilities. So we were able to transfer them to section 5310. But there are some riders, unfortunately, that do not fall under those other categories, cannot be transferred. So we've notified them that their rides will have to end at the end of September this year. So we did give them almost 2 months to make other arrangements to get to their jobs, but we do need additional appropriation to cover those rides through the end of September. That's what we're asking for here. The other good news is that we do have ARPA funds that we're able to use. We have $150,000 that we can put toward these rides as well. We have to appropriate the entire amount, but $150,000 will be coming back as reimbursement for these funds. So I recommend approval of the additional appropriation to cover these riders, and then we'll use ARPA funds toward it.
Thank you for the rest. That was going to be my question, was how's the 150 work against this, which you've already answered it. So because the program is ending for some of these people, we're trying to be sensitive enough to offer a little bit of a soft landing and a grace period, and we're covering that, but we're going to get help with about half of it.
Exactly. Yeah. I can tell you some of these riders are living in shelters, so they're already in tough times. So we're doing everything we can, working with their caseworkers to try and find a bridge, but at least we're able to give them about 2 months with your approval today.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I want to make sure I understand. These funds will take them through the end of September?
The funds will actually, we don't know the exact day of when they'll run out or when they ran out because of the way we get billing from PACE, but we think the end of May was probably going to cover the rides. And
Okay,
then,
so this will cover them through the end of May next year.
no, that was May this year.
Oh,
So unfortunately, the way we get billed, we don't know how much exactly we are getting billed. We can bill toward that grant for months after. It's just always how it's been with Ride and
again,
Cane.
you anticipate that these funds will take us through the end of September?
Exactly. Yeah. So I did a forecast of how many rides we've been doing every month, how many people this would affect, and
And then how many people approximately, okay, I don't want to tie you down,
yeah.
are affected by this?
Yeah, so I took a look at our riders that over the last, starting with March, April, May, and June, it's about 14 riders a month who have been using the service that will no longer have the service. So we're trying to cover them through the end of September. Like I said, fortunately of our 114 registered riders, many of those were able to transfer over.
Thank you.
14 is the number that we couldn't find a home for through other methods.
Exactly, yeah. We've stopped taking new registrations for anyone that does not meet the parameters of 65 and older and individuals with disabilities. So nobody knew, but we don't know the exact numbers for the months of June and July yet. We don't have that billing. Really, we don't even have May. So we're hopefully going to have that soon, but that's why we're trying to cover everybody through the end of September.
All right.
Roth will make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. And a second? Berman? Any other, yes, Mr. Cass?
Sure. I'm not sure exactly how to formulate this. It seems tragic that we're imposing this upon the 14 individuals, but I'm just wondering if there's another cost that can be identified that it's along a lot, the same kind of thing where we don't put the money in, we have these people that can't get to their jobs and it's an expense that would be a burden to us or the taxpayers or the community. I mean, besides the personal tragedy of having this disruption in their life, I just wondered if there were any figures that would, because it seems that figures speak, that would help address this and make this more of a, help explain and make it easier to.
No,
I mean, I'm all for the deal anyway, but
That's a great point, and it's one of those, it's can be difficult to measure the absence of something, right? So, I mean,
hurts our community.
thankfully, we got it from 114 down to 14.
Yeah.
But what will that impact be, and will that cost us in other ways that we haven't even identified yet?
Yeah, we don't know, unfortunately. And I can tell you, it's not the same 14 riders. I have been different riders. It's just a total number of 14 people each month. So we do have a few more riders who are registered who haven't used it recently, but would have to move.
And maybe I missed it because
Yeah,
I
no,
was
go ahead.
thinking really hard on this one point. The 100 that you got switched over, where are they headed? Who's going to take care of that? What's
The section 5310 fund, so it's just a switch at pace, what category they fall in.
So
So we'll still
just
sponsor
paperwork.
them, the other sponsors that have had folks.
It's the
kind of
program for
slow
them
easy.
apparently will be seamless.
Yeah,
The funding is
for most of them.
changed, yeah.
We had told folks when we registered them, if they were low income, and at some point this money would run out. So we
Yeah.
tried to be upfront with them. And as soon as we found out, we took it off our website as an eligible category for rides and try to be sensitive. Of course, with our committee timing, it took a while before we got here with it, but we've been working toward it. And of course, if there's any other funding source that we can find that would help them, we will pursue it. But right now, I think they're just working with their caseworkers and other options.
Sure. Thank you.
A grim reminder that, we try hard, but it's not a perfect system, and money is frequently, if not always, at least part of the problem. All right,
Mr.
yes.
Chairman, Alan,
Yes, Deb, good morning, go ahead.
good morning, thanks. Not on your committee, just sticking in my nose. I just wanted to say, is it possible to spend a couple of hours? Could we use a bus? Could we hire a driver in a bus to move these 14 people around? How expensive would that be? What if we had a volunteer program like Meals on Wheels, where we could pay, $15 an hour to a senior who wants to earn some extra money, moving people around? I mentioned that to someone who said, yeah, but if that person crashes with food, their insurance would probably cover it. If they crash with 3 people in the car they're driving to work, that could be an insurmountable cost. So I just wanted to, we've got really smart people here. I was just wondering if we could outside the box this at all and see if we could come up with another, with a workable other plan. I'm just thinking through. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Of course. Jackie's thinking about it all the time.
Yeah,
Isn't that
it would
the
be,
truth?
we could look into it. None of the other counties do it because I think it's just cost prohibitive to try and run our own buses and train the drivers. We already have trouble trying to get drivers for PACE. So I don't know. Tom, did you want to jump into?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that there's a lot of different aspects to that type of program, because you're looking at jobs that might be on 2 different shifts. So you're looking at overtime, you're looking at the employees being part of a system with taking care of risk management, all of those aspects. My understanding is that the costs are very expensive. Right now, we've kind of put some feelers out to our lobbyists and basically asked them if they could at least look into it. Right now, Jackie, myself, our lobbyists, we've brainstormed and we haven't found anything that would assist us, but we're looking at different, because I was approached last week by a couple county board members saying, hey, can we do our own system? But there are aspects of that would make it very difficult.
I don't know what the 5310 fund is exactly, or how that's funded, what the source is. It strikes me that if whatever that source is able to expand its base a little bit, that would be the simplest answer, is that the rest of it's already in place and that's a funding mechanism. So how do you add to the 5310 funds so
Exactly.
that 14 people don't get left behind?
Yeah. that would
I
be a
don't know
way.
anything about the 5310 fund, so I'm just, that's as
Yeah.
much as I have to say about it.
And that's a good point. If we could change that at the federal level, then it would help a lot more people.
I'll leave that part to you, Jake.
Okay.
All right. Need to vote still.
Berman,
Berman, yes?
Iqbal. Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty. Mr. Doherty? Oh, thank you. Davis
Davis, yes.
passes.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. Doris?
Hello, good morning. We do have our permitting department report in your packet. It is shown on your screens. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I would like to move on. It won't go. Went too fast. For the month of August, we would like to highlight one of the permitting projects. This is Cambridge Lakes North subdivision. That will be the installation of a major access to Big Timber Road, so that the new road is called Providence Street. So at Big Timber and Providence Street, that will be located east of Route 47. So that first photo on the left is when you're standing at the subdivision looking out towards Big Timber Road. Your right-hand screen shows you when they're starting to put down some of the aggregate for that entrance. Here we're showing the widening that is taking place on Big Timber Road. There was widening that took place on the north and the south side of Big Timber as you're going towards Route 47. And then there's another photograph on the right that gives you an idea of what that widening and turn lane will be.
Pictures, always appreciated. Jackie and Jennifer apparently had a good influence on you. All right, and then some Plato Road improvements. Talk to us about that.
Yes. So before you, we do have a resolution. Back in October 17th, 2023, the Transportation Committee did give a conceptual agreement to financially participate in the Central Community Unity School District 301 road improvement project along Plato Road. The committee agreed to contribute funds to offset the costs associated with the asphalt surface removal, the asphalt surface placement, and the asphalt binder over the existing Plato Road improvements. So this resolution will involve KDOT being out in the field on a daily basis for those actual field quantities for the items that will be tabulated, but in no event will KDOT's expenditure exceed $104,400. Staff recommends approval of the resolution to appropriate these funds.
Roth will make the motion.
Thank you. Second. Which school is that? I don't recognize them by.
It is the high school off of Plato Road. Central, sorry.
Right, okay, thank you. All right, and we have a motion and a second. Questions, Mr. Iqbal?
Yeah, my question is, why are we appropriating money to the school district? Why not KDOT undertake the project itself? Is there some technical reason?
I'm going to allow Kurt Nyka to respond to that.
Good morning. Yeah, this was an access related improvement that was for the Central High School's access. And in the permitting world, those kinds of improvements we look at as being the responsibility of the land development. And so they were willing to do that, although there was some elements found with Burlington Road where the super elevation had been lost. And that had an effect of making the overall improvements slightly more expensive. So as a gesture of good faith, we had talked about this last fall, about kind of cushioning that financial effort on their behalf. And so we don't typically participate in access related improvements like this, but in this, we elected to make an exception.
In the interest of public safety and for the kids.
That's correct.
Roth here, just another guy. I think we already have enough projects. So I don't think we need to take on another one. I think it is good faith to help them out though. One question though, are we setting a precedent that every other project that other people are doing will come to us, or is it going to be a case by case basis?
Definitely a case by case basis. There were some very peculiar elements to this one that we felt like
It was worthwhile.
It was worth it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Precedent is only what we allow it to be. They're all case by case. Let's vote.
Berman, Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
Okay. Turn the page, girl. Thank you, Doris. And Kurt, since you warmed up already.
Very good. So this is the traffic operations report that you're familiar with. It shows how the staff have been busy with various items listed on the report and many other items not listed on the report. So if there's any questions on these or anything else, feel free to reach out. I'll try to have some pictures next month.
Mike, make no pictures. Okay. You want to name a new highway? 2 of them?
That's right. Dalberman Road, as construction nears completion, I'm told in the October, sometime in middle October. Before that's put into service, we wanted to have this customary resolution to formalize the name of the new part of the roadway that was built. So staff recommends approval of that formality.
Roth will make the motion.
For
Caius,
Doberman? Oh, you want to do them individually? Yes. Feel strongly about that?
Yeah.
Okay, for Doberman Road, Mr. Roth moves,
Caius,
Mr. Caius seconds. Any questions? Or things out there calling out? Say my name.
Will we have another ribbon cutting when it opens?
Call them out.
Thank you.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
On its way to officially being Doberman Road. Okay. Long Meadow, same thing. Needs a name, needs to be official.
Caius,
right.
remove.
Roth will
I wasn't
second.
gonna have it any other.
Roth will second.
Mr. Caius moves, Mr. Roth, second. Any other words you want to say about it, Chris?
What are we changing it from? Long Meadow Tollway? Long Meadow Parkway?
Sounds about right.
Doesn't currently have.
Oh, it doesn't currently have it.
No, I moved we,
From,
No, I was gonna say-
from the Chris Caius Memorial
Caius Memorial,
Tollway
whoa.
to Parkway.
Oh, I'd stick with my original.
But it would have been
Long Meadow
named
Parkway.
that, Chris, and we're changing 4 letters. So
All right. Let's vote.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
I'm gonna turn to you for this next one too, Chris.
Oh.
Oh, I guess we can read it first.
I would-
A resolution establishing County Highway number 86, Long Meadow Parkway as a freeway.
Freeway. Caius, move.
Davis seconds. Sorry. Questions? Comment? Pictures?
An exhibit.
That'll do. Let's vote.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Cash, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
Jennifer.
Good morning. We're very excited to celebrate a ribbon cutting ceremony for Long Meadow Parkway next Thursday. You can arrive at 11 o'clock or stream live via YouTube. Carpooling is strongly encouraged due to the limited parking available, but we're looking forward to seeing everyone there. Those are the implementation highlights for this month. We can move on to construction photos if you're ready. This first slide shows the crews have placed the final segment of concrete pavement at Long Meadow Parkway. We still have some drainage and landscaping elements to finish up through the end of the season. Second slide shows Doberman Road extension. The crews continue to work on the bridge deck construction, and they'll also start landscaping that project here soon. This project is Plank Road, Angle to Juan, HSIP safety project. These photos show the ditch work going on and also laying the asphalt shoulders. And Fabian at Western Intersection Project has moved on to the next stage, and these photos show concrete curb placement and HMA binder installation.
On the Long Meadow, big event.
Big event coming up.
If you have a +1, can I, because I haven't gotten any invitation.
Did not get an invitation.
Yeah.
You can have mine. I do believe you need a printed invitation to enter, and
I was willing to just be +1. I'll just go.
I have mine here. I'm willing to give it to you.
I had a question on that because I saw that. Is that the email that came to us? Is that considered the invitation
That's right.
versus like when you go online and register? Sometimes they will generate an invitation and it did not. So.
I believe it is the email that we received from Julie Mann that
Right.
you should print.
Right,
bring
and you
along
should
with
have received
I
that.
rescind my complaint then until I go check, because
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe you guys.
Maybe
actually-
check your
Sure in on that one.
junk folder, buddy.
Take it back. I feel way less slighted now.
Resolution.
IGA, you want to talk about?
Yeah, I sure do. Bunker Road Extension is targeting a fall letting. As part of that project, KDOT is replacing the original wayside horn system at LaFox Road. At the conclusion of the Bunker Road Extension project, we're going to JT, the new road, or the old roadway, what we'll call Old LaFox Road, to Blackberry Township. And in consideration of this future JT, KDOT will also replace the road district's wayside horn system at the Brunage Road crossing as part of this Bunker Road Extension project. Staff recommends approval of this IGA for the associated work.
And I'll ask for a motion in a second.
Berman
moves.
Caius second.
Caius second.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
Phase 1, Route 20.
KDOT staff is in need of professional design services to help us conduct a Phase 1 engineering study at the Randall Road at US 20 interchange in Elgin. Staff recommends approval of a contract with BLA for design services in an amount not to exceed $3,945,017.
Roth will make the motion.
Thank you. Mr. Roth, Mr. Iqbal. Go ahead.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
Asset Management Program Services.
KDOT will utilize $240,000 of federal, state planning and research funds to develop a plan that follows best practices in asset management. Staff recommends approval of an agreement with AECom for $501,534 and change to help us develop an asset management program for KDOT.
Roth will make the motion.
Berman second.
Thank you. Any questions? Got to manage your money. Support. All right.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
Toll Bridge Operations Support Services.
Yes, in
No, we're
2021.
not doing them,
That's right.
but we still contractually were obligated, so.
Yeah, we would like to extend our existing agreement with Stantec to help us negotiate, contract termination with all of our existing toll vendors and help us auction off the previously purchased toll equipment. So staff recommends approval of Stantec's existing agreement to extend the terms for 18 months.
Roth will make the motion.
Berman second.
At no additional cost to the,
No cost.
Okay, and that was going to be my question. So we have equipment. Are we going to be able to get full refund or make, because of inflation, actually make money off
that
of
word
it?
auction means we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I understand.
I'm sorry, so what was the motion in the second was
Roth was and Berman was second.
moved and seconded?
Yeah. Laurel and Hardy.
And I think we've addressed your question now.
Okay,
We'll know after. Yeah.
okay.
All right.
And somebody had their hand raised over there for the reply.
We are, we've purchased 80% of the equipment. It's being stored by our roadside vendor.
Okay,
Asked that vendor, would they want to buy it back?
okay,
Buy back the 80%. I've asked them 2 or 3 times and every time they've said no. So what we did was inventory the equipment. They've got to find one missing piece. Then we'll ask them to invoice us for the remaining 20%. We'll pay for that. And then we've got a couple options. One is put it up to auction. And the other option is coordinate with other public toll agencies, such as the Illinois Tollway, ask them if they want to purchase this equipment. There's also other public toll agencies that will make that same offer to. We'll see what happens.
okay. Mr. Caius mentioned he wanted some decorations for Halloween.
Yeah,
So
look good in his front yard. Good luck with all that.
Thank you.
Good investment, not so much.
All right. Still got to vote, right?
Berman,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
This next one's where those orange drums have been sitting there.
That's right.
It's right on the way to the golf course. It's kind of just, it's disturbing. So.
How many
we
did
should
you
get this
hit?
done.
Yeah, last month, 4 bids were open to repair the Hughes Road Bridge structure over Blackberry Creek.
That's
Most
the one.
qualified bid was $397,312 and change submitted by Alliance. After review, it was determined that the bid did not meet all the guidelines within the RBO. The bid was then reviewed and is in compliance with the purchasing ordinance. KDOT is recommending approval of the low bid from Alliance.
Roth will make the motion.
Caius, second.
Okay, second. All right. Yeah, sorry.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
On July 3rd, heavy equipment fell off of a trailer in the Burlington at Bolcom roundabout, damaging the existing pavement. KDOT maintenance staff was quick to react and provide temporary repairs. However, due to prior to winter, more and extensive repair is needed. Bids were opened this morning and the apparent low bidder is current at $97,434 and change. KDOT recommends approval once the bid has been vetted and reviewed for compliance with the RBO.
Roth will make the motion.
Berman second.
Berman second. Is there
Question.
any insurance aspect to this?
Yeah, that
we
was
get?
my question too.
There's an insurance aspect to it.
Will we get 100% refund?
Always deduct.
Yes, probably. So that's all handled by our Jamie
Insurance
Labrillo and
agency.
HRM.
Okay.
So typically, we would wait until the final bill and then they would work with the operator's insurance company to get 100% reimbursement.
So it wasn't our equipment that fell off?
No.
Okay,
Private trucking.
okay. So they're liable for
Ye-
it, correct?
yes.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we're gonna get the work done.
Well, yeah, you don't want to wait.
All right.
Yeah, before winter. Like it.
And that's hot off the press, the number. Just as
Yeah, I got a text
Yeah.
an hour ago.
Sweet.
we got that.
Is that one of those fun videos that shows up on the internet? Something toppling into a brand new roadway?
We have photos,
As long as
but no
nobody was
video.
hurt, then I will say one could hope.
Available?
But if there were any injuries, then
I'm not looking for it. Yeah,
have a grip
just saying.
case concern.
I've seen pictures.
Let's vote.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
I did have one follow-up question. I thought.
Yes, yeah.
No one was injured, correct?
That's right. No one's
Okay,
injured.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Caius, did you have any thoughts about reports on file?
Oh, hey, Mr. Chair, this is Caius. I would ask that we, for unanimous consent, to put reports on file
Excellent idea.
with no objection.
Seeing no objection? Okay. All right. Do we have
One.
executive session? Lance?
Yes, yes.
For the purpose.
Oh.
All right.
And the
Need a
reason is
motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing land acquisition.
Roth will make the motion that we go into closed session to discuss land acquisition.
Caius, second.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes. Here's our answer.
No, no. The city watched full bear trial. It didn't start till 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Finished till about 2.
Oh, really?
That's fine.
Started at like 6 in the evening. And they had to wait till the whole thing was done.
Yeah.
Then it started, which was an hour and a half. Oh, train all the way. Well, no, we stayed overnight.
Short of 2/3 of an acre.
I took the train.
I picked me at the.
Okay. That's okay. There's a little yoga in the background. That's okay. Not up for any arguments. Keep that in mind.
I still love you.
You got-
I still love.
We good?
We're missing a couple of people in the room accepting the invite to the closed session and also a couple of people online. Everyone, please accept your invites.
I will accept my invite. Okay, we need to identify everyone in the room.
I'm still missing 2 people. I will have to send those 2 folks to the waiting room.
Mm,
Put them in the corner.
Yep, have them put their nose in the corner.
And put a note in their file.
Bates. And Molino. Molina, Bates. While we're waiting, can we start identifying everyone in the room?
We're not in closed session yet.
Okay, thank you. I'm just trying to move it along.
That's what I'm going.
Whole area there is gonna get you over the barrel. We want that back? Oh, goodness.
Well, that's gonna be really valuable.
Or it
Yeah,
speaks to the,
I really don't want to do that. Well, I just, again, I just kind
You
of.
want to turn yours in? Oh, no, you have to hand it to them, so it's proof of claim, what's that called?
Oh, they have to,
Yeah, yeah, see, they numbered it with that.
oh, it has to go
I
back.
enjoyed this, I enjoyed the font here at the top.
It was just information for me, not.
it's special. We ordered that. Yeah.
Font. Handwritten font. Fine.
All right, you are in open session.
Berman,
Berman's here.
Iqbal,
Well, President.
Caius,
Vice President,
Leonard,
Leonard present via Zoom.
Roth,
Roth is here.
Ford, Doherty,
Doherty here.
Davis,
Davis here.
Tepe.
Tepe.
You have an in-person quorum?
All right, back in open session. Entertain a resolution approving the acquisition of highway right-of-way for Randall Road at Illinois Route 72
Caius, move.
Roth will second.
by Caius, seconded by Roth. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none.
Berman,
Burn, yes.
Iqbal,
Well, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Passes.
Anybody here have new business for the good of the order?
We have 9 minutes left.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to need an update. There was a committee meeting to select or hire a new director. I'd like to know what it was about. Do we need, is it a new position or is it somebody leaving?
Yeah, that would be my position. So I'm resigning as of January 31st, 2025. And so the Human Resources Director requested a lot of lead time because we're actually required to do an external search. So my understanding is that the interviews for that position were held this past Monday.
Yes.
And that will be proceeding through the process.
I see. Okay, thank you.
It's well underway and it's in the hands of Human Resources at the moment, so that we make sure that we follow all the protocols.
Yeah, the committee didn't know that Carl was leaving.
Yeah, if you didn't know, now you know.
Oh. Sorry,
Well, there
sorry that we left you unaware.
Okay, yeah.
was a little hint,
was,
5 months.
It's a one-way ride on the bike.
It was on the board calendar for meetings, so.
All right, anyone else?
Nope, I will make a motion, we adjourn.
Second by Mr. Berman. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Time to spare, sir.
Aye.
Oh,
Time to spare.
fantastic.
The good trend.